asking you if you watched Inside Out 2, and I request everyone who's watching this to go watch Inside Out 2.
Inside Out.
Please watch Inside Out 1. You will enjoy Inside Out 2 that much more, because it's basically talking about emotions in your brain.
Ah, interesting. Okay.
And it's an animated film. And this time though, I went like to town. I watched it on IMAX and 4D. So all the emotions were in my face.
Wow.
It was great. So it's a fantastic movie to watch. I think this is a kind of belief system. When you know you're confident, you know you're confident. When you know you're good. And it may happen that you may forget. Or you're picking, out of like a really packed, thought puddle. And you're not landing on the right belief. But I promise you it's there. So when I lost it in the third phase was another phase of me learning who I am.
Yeah.
Which was Dubai, early, Mumbai. There was more angst. There was more rush. There was more uncertainty. There was lots more insecurity in me as a person, because where am I? This is new.
Yeah.
This is not, so you're holding on to like whatever little you really know. I feel that was a challenging phase. But then again, when you live life, you understand that, I'll find my mojo again. And I did find my mojo.
Yeah. Yeah. And the mojo is always there. It's just that, and it's, I mean, in our, whether we do classroom training for corporates, whether we do personal development, individual, executive coaching, etc. One of the things we mention is that we find that people do have everything inside. Like you said, the mojo is there, but it gets sometimes overshadowed by all the negativity and the comments that you hear around, or people saying something about you, and you kind of go, maybe I'm not that good. Maybe I'm, Yeah,
sometimes we don't even tell ourselves that that person is talking bullshit.
Yeah, exactly.
Like I remember watching this interview, and it's really famous. It's everywhere. I don't know. I think it's Keanu Reeves or one of them, because he's really cool. Like, he's really cool, right? So it's like, what do you do when people have a problem with you? Like, so he says, like, do they have my number? And he says, no, if he doesn't have my number, then he can't have a problem with me. Or something like that, I'm paraphrasing really badly.
He doesn't have direct contact.
He doesn't have a connection to you, brother. Like,
exactly.
I remember as a child, like, Ajit uncle used to say, if someone calls you oily boily or oily girly, are you oily? No. Then how can you feel bad about oily girly? Like, he can call you whatever. If you don't understand, if you don't attach like a preconceived meaning to this, right?
Yeah.
If you don't attach it, then I think words are words. But the minute you attach, and that's when it's really important that you use like good words to feed yourself.
Yeah.
Like,
and that's, go on.
Sorry, I just had like this brain fart.
Yeah.
We incorrectly use words so many times. Like the other day, I had an aha moment. I met someone who I know for a very long time, and along with him, I met another person. Now, in my brain, I was like, so when I got a chance to speak to this person, right, I said, I do. That's what I thought. I recognized you. I feel like we don't even use the word recognize as often as we use the word, I know you.
Yeah.
You don't know anybody, man. I recognize
you.
And when that happened, and it's such a small thing,
Yeah.
I don't but I give myself awards for this kind of aha moments, right?
Yes.
I'll go buy myself an ice cream. I'll go buy
celebration.
Yeah,
personal
this is
celebration
a big moment, right?
Yeah.
Because with this one bit of awareness, now I will like simplify so many other things in my life. If I just recognize you, what you say to me, is it going to matter as much as if I know you? If I know you're my critic, Do I expect you to be kind to me, or just give me what you think and what's on your mind?
Yeah.
The minute I start assigning roles, and my expectation towards people automatically starts, because we cannot be wholesomely trusted. We cannot be wholesomely just yourself. Like, is this charisma real? Is this charisma not so real? Right? No, what I think I'm doing is I'm playing a music in my head.
Yeah.
There is an echo, there is a fall, there's a rise, there's a reverb, there's a something, and that's what eventually makes it. No two notes are the same. So I think that's what I'm learning today about tuning in and out.
Yeah. But I mean, I agree with all that. I think unfortunately it's the upbringing, it's the first one.
Yes. So there in life there's a lot of conflicts. So when we encounter conflicts or emotional talks, what can we do to restore a calm and comfortable environment to make communication effective?
First of all, don't try to show the other person that he is dumb in feeling the way he is feeling. We all do that. We all do that subconsciously. I don't think people do it intentionally. But for example, you're telling me about a bad day you had. And I said, come on, we all have bad days. You know, why do you? And I'm going like, all right, then I won't say anything. What's the point me saying it? So all you need to do is acknowledge the feeling. That's all. Acknowledge the feelings. Say, oh my God, that must have been really tough for you. Oh, so what did you do after that? Oh my God, that's even worse. So all I'm doing is summarizing what you said, understanding your feeling, and you will find that the other person calms down. If I try to tell them, oh, but you shouldn't have done that. Now he's ready to fight with me. Even though the culprit was someone else, now he's ready to fight with me, right?
Yeah.
But I'm going. So you want to calm people down? All you need to do is put yourself, and this is a statement that we've been hearing since we were like 5, 6, 7 years old, right? And the funny thing is, every nationality, the parents have said that, or the teachers have said that to the students, is put yourself in the other person's shoes. I mean, I've heard it so much. I don't see anyone practicing it. It's it's something we've heard all our life. Put yourself in the other person's shoes. You can't. So if I can't put myself in your shoes because I am not you, I won't know what you feel. For example, now this is going to get a little sensitive. Yeah. You're a woman. I'm a man. And I'm really worried saying that nowadays because, with all the new terminology that's coming out, my pronoun is not a guy, it's he, him, her, they, them. So I'm not getting into that. All I'm saying is that a woman can get pregnant. So if you're pregnant and I see that you are suffering, having pains, or, you're tired, how can I tell you that I understand? I'm a guy. So I cannot say, you know what, YuChiao, I totally understand how you feel. That's a dumb thing to say. You will never totally understand what she feels, right? Because you're a guy. You won't feel that. So what I can do is say, you know what? I totally understand how you might feel, because when my wife was pregnant, when my sister was pregnant, when whoever, and I could see that she went through the same kind of issues and challenges. Now the person feels, okay, you might actually understand, right? But I cannot say, I know how you feel. You don't. You can't know how I feel. I can relate to it, but I can't understand it.
Yes. Yeah.
So it's all that is being able to understand their feelings to make them calm.
Yes. And especially you are saying we are talking about making other calm and I think keeping ourselves calm is also very important. So this comes to the emotional intelligence. I believe this is a key also for effective communication. So do you have some tips for how to improve our emotional intelligence? I think this is also a leadership quality.
Having the right purpose in life. Why are you doing what you are doing? I'll bring it back to myself. All right. For example, why am I doing this business? Is because I absolutely love helping people. I want to see people grow. I want to see people, improve. I want to see how, even if it's a little skill that I'm showing and it helps them to solve some of their problem, or at least solve a part of their problem, that makes me very satisfied. So the sense of satisfaction, there is a greed factor involved. I do want satisfaction, but the satisfaction is not necessarily for me getting something from them. It's about me giving to them. And if I see them growing, I feel good. Right? Emotional intelligence is all about your ability to not control, but channel your emotion. I think some people get it very wrong when they say, oh, you have to control your emotions. I'm a human being. I can't control my emotions. I have emotions. How can I control them? So you don't control them, you channel them. You channel them into a different area and say, okay, I know how I'm feeling. I'm going to put that aside. Let me understand why you feel the way you feel. That channeling, there's two benefits to it. One, it helps the other person feel that you're not fighting with them. Or secondly, it gives you time to think through the right answer before you actually talk to them. That pause is a very, very important pause. In your team before I
think that habits are one of the best ways of showcasing self-love.
Yes.
Because ultimately, when you say, I want to make this change, you're saying, I'm going to make this commitment. And it's that promise that you're making to yourself. So it's, that's what we do to our loved ones as well. We make those promises. So these are the ideas that are currently floating around that I'm very excited about and sharing.
Interesting. It's interesting that you mentioned the word commitment, because at the end of the 4-day program yesterday, I made them all stand up and say, okay, tell me one thing that you are committed to taking back and applying. Don't tell me just because you are trying to finish your homework and because we're leaving and you just want to tell me something so that we can end the session. I'm going, no, you think about it carefully. If it's something that you're willing and able to commit, then do it. And one of the things that always worries me in a training program is people take on massive actions and say, oh, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. And I'm going like, no, you're not. You know that, and I know that you're not going to do it. So I said, I'd rather you pick on a simple step, a simple commitment that I know, I believe you will, and you believe it will, even though some people might feel, that's such a normal one. Yeah, it doesn't matter, but it is a commitment, which means you're actually going to fulfill it. And that's what we want. We want positive reinforcement of everything that you're doing, right? So interesting that you mentioned commitment. That's interesting. So who are the more exciting, I guess, people or contacts that you have come across recently in your podcast, interviews, whatever it is that however you do your networking, I guess, is the question.
However I do my networking. Oh, so it's very interesting. I'm quite blessed that because of the podcast, etc., people come to me. So the networking is more pull oriented than actually going out. So it's very blessed in that format.
Excellent.
We had Dr. Rane on the podcast. He's a person who's a biohacker. So the whole idea of health and biohacking and longevity was a podcast that we just completed recently. But some of my favorite podcasts, forget about recently, but in the past, have been people that I look up to or I've spent a lot of time reading. So there's a gentleman called Ken Honda who has written the book Happy Money. He's an absolute delight. We had such a lovely conversation. And again, like his team reached out to me, so it was one super happy moment seeing the email come in. So it was lovely.
Yeah.
Then we had Dr. D. Martini come on. So he's an absolute beast. Have you met Dr. D. Martini?
No, I haven't, but Honda, I have come across on an event. Unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to really, communicate with him that much. But hey, and it's a feather in your cap if they reached out to you. That's amazing.
Yeah.
When was that one done? Is it available on your podcast that I can go and watch?
Oh yeah, if you just Google Ken Honda, the habit coach, it should pop up. It'll come up on YouTube, etc.
Excellent. I'm going to go and look at that
These
one.
were again done during the lockdown, so all my international guests are all from there.
Okay. Because I've been, as you know, I just came back from my trip to the Caribbean islands, the Saint Martin. I was there doing some service enhancement training and supervisory enhancement training for the Saint Martin Hospitality and Trade Association, because the whole island, Saint Martin, as you know, it's half Dutch and half French, right? But they rely, I guess, 90% on tourism.
Oh, wow.
And after COVID, and then they had a couple of really bad hurricanes, for them to kind of try and build up again, one of the things is these guys reached out to us and said, we really need to build our tourism back. So we need to have a lot of service enhancement training. So we were there to do a pilot 5-day program. Actually, it isn't a 5-day, it was 5 one-day programs that we were doing. So we just did that. But basically on second day, the management reached out and said, when can you come back again? So obviously the feedback going back on day 1 and day 2 was already something they liked. And they said, we have so many hotels and so many other, I guess, avenues of tourism. So the airport, the retail operations, all those require it, right? So we're going to be going back probably in October. Because I know they had asked us to stay on. I couldn't stay on because our calendar is full with other stuff. But we're hoping to go back there again in October. So that's a good thing. But
it's going to be fun. Tell me something, Raju. What according to you are mistakes that people make when it comes to service? Because it's a big one, and when you travel across the world, you find such varied kinds of service. Just if you take different aircrafts, it's airlines itself, right? The personality of the country almost comes to you in that airline.
It does to a certain extent, yeah. If I had to pin it down to a couple of things, it's very generic type of skills that people are lacking. People, they don't listen to understand. Mostly they listen to reply. So they hear one sentence out of you and they think, isko to ye chahiye, or he wants this, but that's not always the case. You have to really understand what the customer is wanting. The second is because they're so inundated with different requests from different customers, patience is something that is sorely lacking. And unfortunately, I have to say this, but the people that are out in force nowadays, and I'm not talking about a Generation Z or anything like that. I'm just saying the people coming out now to work in the service industry are only in it for a job. It's not a career. It's not coming from their heart. So basically they are, providing service from what they've been told to say. So it doesn't sound genuine. Are you really giving me service and help because you want to or because you have to? And I think it's coming across more as they have to, so they're doing it. That's why patience level, listening skills, all these are kind of match. Yesterday, we were talking about